Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 618 of the DrunkNerds podcast. I'm host as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me we have the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Tyler. I got to admit, though, I've been playing maybe two different games this week. One for like Destiny 2, the Final Shape expansion. I've done a little bit of that. And other than that, though, I'm getting close to finishing up my Charmander run in Pokemon Red. Just one final obstacle
Nice,
left.
nice.
But other than that, though, how have you
Oh,
been
I'm
doing?
just in the dumps right now, Gables. I was telling you before the show, my vacation is coming to an end.
Mm,
It's Saturday night, tomorrow Sunday. I gotta go back to work on
mm,
Monday. It's a miserable feeling. Like as
yeah.
high as you are on Friday getting off work, I am the total opposite right now. I've just had a complete Thursday afternoon hit, and I just like I don't. I'm just gonna sit on the couch and rot for the next like 3.5 days here until I have to go back to work. Yeah. So, but I mean, other than that, I'm doing all right. It was a good vacation though. I enjoyed it. Um, Played a bunch of video games. We did all the summer game fest stuff, which was really cool. So if you want to go check that out, Gibbles and I did a couple live reacts. We did 3 different podcasts in there. I also streamed myself playing Super Mario Galaxy. I'm gonna continue to do that. The first 2 parts are up. I got 32 stars now, so that's pretty cool. What else have I been doing? Oh, I went to AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. I'm a big wrestling fan, so I got
Oh,
to go to
that's
that. I was in the
right.
third row, so it's funny. My sister, like, who doesn't watch wrestling at all, she pulled it up to see if she could see me, and she found me on TV, and she's like, "Oh, I saw you in the at the end of the show. Like, you like started freaking out." Like, I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah, I saw it." So I went back and I found it, and there was like a part of me during the main event with Ray Phoenix and Will Ospreay. Yeah,
Osprey and Ray
so like
Phoenix.
they do a
Yeah.
part where they do like a top rope, like when they're standing on the top rope, they do a Frankensteiner, and Will Ospreay lands on
Hmm.
his feet, and I just like jump up and I'm like freaking out, and then immediately after,
I
yeah,
saw that
immediately
too.
after, uh, Will Ospreay goes to do a DDT on Phoenix, and he lands on his feet, and I'm just still, I'm like completely marking out. So it was really funny to see that. My sister was thought it was really funny, so I got a clip of that and stuff. So that was really funny. But yeah, it was a great time. There was they did like their other show Rampage afterwards, so I stayed for that too. So I had a hell of a lot of fun. It's my first time going to a wrestling event in like I think it's like 2018, 2017 around that time. So
Yeah, roughly. It was like WWE event I think you went to. I think I saw you on
yeah,
there as
well, that was the
well.
one I did front row on the camera side. That was like 2013 or 14. I did that one, but I've been to a bunch. I've
Dude.
probably been to about a dozen or so in my life. But I just fallen off of WWE and then kind of came back with AEW, and I've been wanting to go since they've been around just over 5 years now. So I'm wanting to go. First time I ever come to Des Moines. So yeah, that was really cool.
Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, how much did you end up having to pay for
Um,
that seat, dude?
like
I mean, that looks like
180.
pricey.
So I mean, it was pricey, but it wasn't like
Oh,
insanely expensive. So it like
oh shit.
yeah, it hurt to buy, but like it was still worth it in the end. Like 180 bucks. I'm not living large over here, so um,
Oh shit, that ain't
no,
bad
no. I
at
mean,
all.
definitely. I mean,
Huh.
I couldn't imagine if I had like like a wife and like 2 kids like that. That would, but like just buying my own ticket wasn't a major ordeal. But yeah, I had a ton of fun with that. So, I mean, I try to make the most of my vacation. Took my dog for WLK every day. I can't say the word. He'll know what it means if I say it out loud. Um, yeah, I really enjoyed that. Like I said, I played a bunch of video games and started Gables. After
Yeah.
everything we had all week, all the game stuff, we've seen a bunch of preview stuff. I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition again. So
I saw you
yeah,
playing that right before we started recording, and I thought to myself, wow, is he getting that much excited for the new Dragon Age game that he's actually
it
firing up
looked really good,
Inquisition?
Gables. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was pretty. I'm like, oh god damn, this looks great. I watched. I oh,
From what I'm hearing about Inquisition, it's like from the CGI trailer we saw, obviously there was portions of that that looked kind of rough and stuff, but apparently from some gameplay stuff,
yeah,
from some people that had a chance to try it out, it's supposed to be sort of like similar to that of like a Dragon Age
yeah.
Inquisition.
People. I mean, they did like a 20-minute like preview thing on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I watched a good chunk of that. I don't like to like watch too much stuff because like I don't like I just I'm gonna play it. When it's like trailers I don't mind watching or like here's a 5 minute thing, but it was like a 20-minute long thing of gameplay, and I'm like I'm just
Hmm.
gonna wait. The game's a few months away. I'll just wait to play it. So I watched like the first few minutes. So I just want to see the gameplay and a little bit of like kind of what it looks like in the new engine. And I was like, God damn it! The only thing I'm kind of weird about this, like, it's more of an action game, and like the 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 original Dragon Age games were more of a CRPG. So I'm kind of mixed
Yep.
on that because like I'm not a big CRPG guy, but man, like I actually really got into like the Dragon Age is like the one exception to the rule for me. But I played it like a long time ago, like when it first came out on PS4, and I was really into it. And then I always thought about there's like they do this weird thing where like they have like points, like you every time you do a mission or do stuff, you earn points, and you need those points to unlock the next areas. And then there's like side areas you can get that
Hmm.
are like they're way cheaper point wise. They're just side quests. They're not part of the main story. And I was like doing everything because I was so into the game. And I got like 40 hours into it, and I was kind of getting to that point where like, all right, I'm just ready to finish it up. But like the next area needed like 20 something points, and I had already just used all my points on side quests. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to, or like unlocking other areas, that side areas. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to play like 6 7 hours to get the points necessary to unlock the next area. And I just kind of like rage quit it. I never went
Mm.
back. And then it's been on Game Pass, for a long time now because EA Play. Um, and I was like, I started
Yeah.
playing in there, and I looked at the store. I looked at the Xbox store. They had the Game of the Year edition with everything out there, $4, all the DLC, everything. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll just buy the deal. I'm like, so I'm
Hmm.
like, no, more like 13, 14 hours in now. So yeah, I'm having a good time with it. So
Okay.
I'm like, I played it, and like, it's definitely rough. It definitely like it was there's a lot of issues with that game, even today. But I don't know, in a weird way, like it's kind of like that Bioware jank that you're kind of like you fawn over. I guess it's like how Fallout people like kind of fawn over when they think of like or a Bethesda game. I think of Skyrim and shit like that. So I don't know. Anyways, um, we
Mm.
got we not a lot going on this week, Gables. Not a lot too much news. I messaged you earlier today. I'm like, there's not a lot of news, so we're just gonna do like, should we just do like a Nintendo Direct prediction show? And you said yeah, because I've heard some hubbub that potentially could be this week. So figured, hey, do it now, and then because I was thinking about just doing it next week, but I've heard it could be potentially this week. So I'm like, just do it now. It sucked that we kind of missed out
Hmm.
on it. Plus, not a lot of stuff going on, but I kind of
It's going to cover our
yeah
bases, Tyler. I mean, having a prediction show now, even if it doesn't like end up happening this week, is still a good idea.
yeah. And I figure like plus, like I said, not a lot going on. So but before we get into that, if you guys are liking this, enjoy us, whatever. If you checked out any of our stuff recently and you subscribed to us because of the all the trailers and everything we've done this week, really appreciate it. you know, uh, Hit the thumbs up button, share with your friends, tell your friends, subscribe, whatever you can do. Really would appreciate it. If you miss some of that stuff, we like I said, we did 2 live reactions. We have 3 podcasts up. There's 2 live streams of me doing Mario Galaxy up. I did a bunch of breakout videos from the Xbox showcase that are on the channel as well. So if you want a short condensed thing of some of the bigger games in there that are there for you guys, make sure you get the thumbs up on that one. Share with your friends. Tell everybody you can about it. We really would appreciate it. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on all podcast services. Just look for us out there. Drunk Nerds, Drunk Dash Nerds. You'll find us. But Gables, let's get into it. Um,
Hmm.
so we do know that there is a Nintendo Direct this month. I saw someone mention it was like I can't remember if I talked about it on the podcast. It was like a week or two ago. I saw it. Someone's like, "What's worse, not knowing when the next Direct is, or knowing it's in June?" Like like when you're in June and you're like, "All right, is it worse just not knowing if it's going to come or not, or knowing that it's coming but we just don't know when?" What's worse for you, Gables?
Well, the worst would be not knowing when it's going to be announced. I mean, that's what drives a lot of people crazy, I've come to find out, upon the gaming sphere, either on YouTube or on Twitch or wherever. There are a lot of gamers that are just hungry for that next bit of knowledge from Nintendo and what they're going to
Mm,
put out. And obviously, not knowing when a direct is going to happen drives people
yeah,
freaking
yeah.
nuts. Now, you see, it's a lot less like stressful to know that, hey, Nintendo went on record and said they're going to be doing one in the month of June. That's fine by me. You don't have to give an exact day. You just do it like maybe a day or two before you're going to do it. And that way, we're not having to go and guess whether it's going to be either in August or September or who knows when else. But yeah, I kind of
Okay.
like it that
Yeah,
way.
it's just funny like seeing online people like freaking out. It's like, is it gonna be today? Today? Wake up today? Nope. Damn. Wake up today? Nope. Damn. Because like I think normally when they announce one, they make the announcement. It's like think it's like 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. When they announce like when they announce a direct, hey, it's in 2 days. So probably gonna be like they're probably gonna announce it on a Tuesday and it'll be on a Thursday or something like that. I don't unless they could shadow drop it, but I feel like since they announced this one so far out, I feel like they're not gonna do that this time around. Um, and this is sadly potentially Gables the last Nintendo Direct of the Nintendo Switch. So
That's what's been rumored. There's supposed to be like two until for like the rest of the year, from what I understand. But I understand that based upon rumors that are out there, this next one is supposed to be the last for the Nintendo Switch. The one after is supposed to be the introduction of the
yeah,
new
that might not
system.
even be a Direct because like
It's
the when they did the
possibly,
Nintendo
yeah.
Switch introduction thing, that wasn't a Direct. So I can't remember what they called that. It was like a digital showcase or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. That press conference they did.
Right.
No, man, what an awful press conference that was. It's pretty great. It's pretty usually when you have a bad opening press conference for a console, like it usually like ends pretty poorly for that console. So I think this is like the one time where we got like a
Mhm.
I guess well this time they like the one saving grace thing they had was they had Zelda at the end. But man, that was a rough one. Um, but
Yes.
anyways, yeah. And it's kind of it's kind of bittersweet. Like we're in year 8 of the Switch, and it's just like this sounds like it's probably the last one that's going to be solely Switch. Switch One, whatever you want to call it, base Switch. Um, it's kind of it's like it feels like almost like an end of an era. But I mean we talked about like we got a pretty good idea of like pretty much everybody now. I feel like big third parties, and like the first, the PlayStation, Xbox. We kind of have a general idea of like all the big games are coming. It looks actually not bad. The Xbox looks really good if everything hits. PlayStation is it's not like a top tier year, but it's like I don't know. You got Until Dawn, you got Astrobot, which looks fantastic, and then Lego Horizon Adventure out there. So we've got a pretty decent idea of what's coming. I don't feel like they're going to add anything new that's major at least. Then PlayStation after we got Luigi's Mansion in like a week and a half, and then we got the Nintendo World Championships uh, in mid July, I believe, like July 18th or something like that. And that's it. We have nothing. So I feel like, man, I don't know. This one could be all over the place. Like, what's your anticipation before we get in predictions? How like as far as like, are you thinking like if like 10 is like metric ton, we're talking Mario, the 3D Mario, we're talking Zelda, and 1 is like it's just all farming simulators. Like, where are you at on the scale here of like how big this direct could be?
I feel that is not going to be as big as what people are anticipating it. I feel that this is going to be maybe a six
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
scale.
I
And that's the level of excitement I kind of get the
yeah,
grasp
I
of.
think for the, I mean, there's always people that are gonna go a little crazy. I think like the people that are like a little more they're not like going like too crazy over the top with it. Like the people that are like level-headed people, I think are kind of on that same level, like a 6-7 area. Like like I feel like we're probably seeing a lot of ports and stuff like that. I don't think we're gonna get anything major. But I kind of have a list here, Gable. I mean, before we get into the list here, like what games like specifically do you think we'll see here?
I feel like the safe bet is we're probably going to be seeing remakes of classic games. Obviously, the one that's been rumored to being shown, and what I kind of feel is probably the most likely to be shown, is a remaster of either Twilight Princess or
Yeah.
Wind Waker. I feel that is something that we may potentially see, and that's just first things first. But that's just about what I kind of feel for just a
Yeah.
remake sense.
Um, all right. So I kind of have a list here of some stuff. I kind of broke it up into some like so first party, and then there's like some third party stuff in here. We'll do the third party last. Um, First up, I think the one that's been rumored for a long time now. There's that Fire Emblem genealogy. I can't remember genealogy of something. Um,
Genealogy
Holy
of the
War.
Holy
Yeah, I was gonna
War.
say Wasteland. I'm like, that's not right. So there's been that rumor for a long time, which is like I believe that game like never came here. It's like a Japan game. Was it
Mm-mm.
NES or Game Boy?
I think it
Super
was
Nintendo.
Super
Okay.
Nintendo. Now that I think
Yeah.
about it,
So, um,
I may be wrong,
but I mean,
but
like it's essentially a brand new Fire Emblem. Even though yeah, it's a remake of a 20-something-year-old game. It's a game that never came here. So, um, I don't know. I mean, I think we could maybe do a 1 through 10 here. 10 being 100% guarantee, 1% or 1 being like not a chance. What's your thoughts on like Fire Emblem being here?
I think Fire Emblem being here is a
Okay.
7. I want to say a 7 because it feels like due to the popularity of how well Fire Emblem has done, especially upon the last 5 years with like Three Houses, and then Engage was sort of mixed. It was kind of like sort of a
Just kind of
mix with the
came and went.
reaction. It definitely looked like it
Yeah.
came and went. That's exactly the point. It came and went because it wasn't anything like Three Houses that came before it. But at the same time, the popularity of Fire Emblem is still going pretty strong. So I kind of feel like we will see something Fire Emblem related at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
show.
I mean, even before that, you look at like the 3DS era. Like that's like Fire Emblem
Yeah.
became like maybe not S tier, but like an A tier Nintendo franchise. So they did a really good job. And it's like yeah,
Yes.
the Fire Emblem the the Engage was like I thought that was like a slam dunk when it was gonna be one of like the biggest games of the year, and just kind of like I feel like it came out and like 2 weeks later we all moved on. So also 2023 was a pretty crazy year for games, but I mean that makes sense, especially being on a
Yes.
gigantic console with almost 150 million people out there that have one. So yeah, I'm probably what you said 7. Okay,
I did
I'm gonna
say
be like an
7,
8.
yes.
I feel like I'm saying 8. I feel pretty confident in that one being there. And this is supposed to only cover the rest of the year, but we do know Nintendo lies. But if you guys, if we're assuming that Switch 2 is out in March of next year, maybe they actually stick to that a little bit. Next one here, Gables, we're going to like the big gun here. Probably the one bigger game they have. I know it's not like it's bigger for like the hardcore fans, but it's not big for
Right.
non. It's like in the mainstream. Metro Prime 4. It's this week was the 7-year anniversary of it being announced. It's been nearly 5 years since they announced
Mm.
it was getting rebooted. So we I don't know. What are you thinking on this one, Gables?
Okay, so I'm going with my gut feeling on this. I feel like that it's going to be a 9 that is going to appear at the show, and I feel like that it's going to be releasing by the end of this year
Okay.
just on Switch.
Yeah. All right. So you're saying all right 9 like it gets mentioned or 9 we see gameplay.
I think we
Okay.
see
All right.
gameplay.
I feel like I'm like a God, I'm gonna be like an 8 on this one as well again.
Okay.
I think there's a like I would say like I'm almost like a I would say like almost honestly like it's like a 6 we see gameplay, and then it's like an 8 that at least
Okay.
gets mentioned. Like hey, like especially because like we're getting like I don't know like it's getting closer to like unless we do get a direct in like later this year or something. Um, but
Right.
I feel like they don't mention it here. They're gonna wait till next year because or like maybe they mention it later sometime. But like I feel like yeah, if it's not here, it's
Right.
not coming out this year because like when it gets to September, I feel like because that game like we talked about, it's like that was the launch game for the next Switch. That would be a very disappointing launch game. That would not get the mainstream excited. There's
Mm.
like like we keep talking about like
Right.
um, Metroid Dread is best selling Metroid of all time, and it sold like just over 3 million units.
Right.
Like you look at like Metroid Prime, the remaster of Metroid Prime One, I think sold just over a million. Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii sold
Was
like 2 million, like, and that
right.
was like with 120 million install base. So what are you gonna say?
I was just about to say, it really wasn't until like about Metroid Dread where we actually decided to get some that eclipsed even the sales of Metroid
Yeah.
Prime originally, with its 2.9 million sales during its first initial for during its first initial year,
Yeah,
I
I
would
know it's over
say.
3 million now.
But
I don't know. We haven't got updates since then though.
but I would argue this is probably the best, probably the better chance of like having this Metroid game be
Yeah.
successful, because it's like it's not going to be a launch game per se. It'll be more upon the realm of like maybe a swan song
Yeah,
game for
that's
the
what. Yeah,
Nintendo
no, I
Switch.
think it's most likely gonna be like I just mean like if it's not this year, and say it's like, but I'm just saying like if it's like the launch game of the new Switch or Switch 2, whatever you want to call it, that's a pretty downer of a launch game. Like I said, like the hardcore will be excited for it, but like we talk about like we look at you can see like where games are in tiers. We can go. We always every quarter we look at then it's at like updated sales figures for the Switch games, and it's like it's Pokemon, Mario, like 3D Mario, Mario Kart, fucking Zelda games, and like Mario Party. Like those are like the top tier games. Animal Crossing. So I don't know. Like We talk about too, like you can't really compare like old game sales to like the Switch because the Switch is just like it's fucking Barry Bonds before steroids and after steroids. It's just a totally different player. So yeah, I don't. I'm like I think it'll be mentioned here, and I don't know. I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. It's mentioned. I don't know if we're getting gameplay. I don't know if it comes out this year because I feel like if it's not gonna be out in like August September, it's gonna get punted to next year because if it comes out in October, November, especially November when like or like you get closer to like the Call of Duties and the Dragon Age and fucking Assassin's Creed stuff like that. Like I know it's a Nintendo game, but like it's not Mario. Mario will do fine. Pokemon will do fine. Zelda will do fine. But Metroid can like I think will
Right.
quickly like yeah like the hardcore like I keep saying the hardcore fans will be excited for it. Like even like Metroid Dread like came out like I think it came out like September or something like that. And it just like it was a big deal for like the like the Nintendo fans, but like mainstream wise, it's just it's just it's not up to the snuff of everybody else. So especially I think maybe being called Metro Prime 4, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be surprised if it gets a name change because I wonder if that 4 might turn a lot of
Well,
people
yeah,
off as well.
absolutely.
Right? So yeah, I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. Next up here, Metro Prime 2 and 3 remasters.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. Metro Prime 2 and 3 remasters. I feel like that this will be mentioned inside the show. I'm not entirely sure whether they will, like, say, release like as a stealth drop like the first
Yeah,
game was
yeah,
during that year, but I will say that it's probably going to be more likely that like a 7 that we will
yeah.
see those
I,
games.
I think I got like probably like a 7 as well on that one. I don't think it'll be stealth drop because like we talked about like Luigi's Mansion 2 is next week, so they probably don't want to, kind of put those out too close together. Um, So I think we see 2 and 3. I wouldn't be surprised. Like I bet we get like maybe they don't come out together, but maybe like 2 is like out in July or something, and then 3 is out in August, and then
Right.
it's kind of like we've seen them do a lot lately is they put them out digitally, and then yeah you wait a month or 2 months it'll be out physically, and you can buy they do like a limited almost like a limited run thing of the
Hmm.
like we see them do with like Pikmin and like Metro Prime remaster like a month or two later they put them out um, physical like a physical like a short physical run of them. So, um, go ahead.
Dude, all I care about those releases is like they retain the control style of how Metroid Prime was when they
Well,
released it on the Switch.
I
That's
mean
all I care
the
about.
reports out there were that like one got like the full like got almost like near a remake, and then 2 and 3 are not getting those. So I'm kind of curious because 3 would be a lot of work because that was a Wii exclusive. So because I think I believe
Mm,
Metroid Prime Remaster was like really a remaster of the Wii game if I remember correctly. So they're working off of the Wii because they did the ports to the Wii of those games. I believe they're like working off of
yeah,
those
I
and they're
remember
like
those.
turning them into they're because they it does have the motion controls and them so then they're like kind of converting them into like almost kind of like we did with like Galaxy and shit like converting those into like with a controller. So
And I think it also did have like the achievement factors too from the Wii game as well. When I think about it, I'm not sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying
yeah,
though.
I'm like I'm gonna stick with the 7 on that one. I almost wonder though like would they put them out separately or would they maybe bundle together? I wouldn't be shocked if they do like a all 3 games together like $60 or something. Like what was it?
Oh, like another Metroid Prime
Yeah, because like
trilogy.
what was it? Was it $30 for Metroid Prime remaster or was it 40?
It was
Okay, yeah,
$40.
because I almost wonder if like I bet they like look at that and like fuck we could charge 60 for that thing. Um, so I wonder if they do like 40 for this piece and then like maybe like actually I don't know how they would do it. Like maybe they just do them separately at $40.
I think they would probably just bundle 2 and 3 and stuff and just
Yeah,
charge
but like maybe
60.
they do 30 and 30 like or maybe they do like
Yep,
yeah,
30 and
like
30
maybe they do
digitally.
40 and 40 if they do them separately, and then if you wait 2 months,
That's
you can
true.
get them together for 60 or something like that. I don't know, but I think we see. I think those are more likely we get them this year. I'm starting to doubt we see Metro Prime 4 this year. Like I think we see it this year. I don't think it comes out this year. And I almost wonder if like it comes
Right.
out like next summer, but it's a cross generation type of thing. So next up here though, Gables Kid Icarus Uprising. This one's been long rumored forever. There's been those like leaks with like the Bandai Namco is working on it and stuff like that. So, how you feeling on this one?
I feel it's about a 3. And the reason why I kind of feel that it's a 3 it's because this would definitely be one of those line of games to probably be put on the next system. Only because Only because it's like a game franchise that really isn't predominantly like too like say popular per se since like its last game release came like around what was it 2014
It was the
2013 or
3DS launch
so.
game, so that was 13,
Yeah, it was a 3DS.
12,
It was close to like the
2012.
3DS launch. It was
Yeah,
2012. Yes. I would think that this would be more likely if they hadn't put it out like right now or something like that on the Switch, that this is probably going to be one of those probably like a launch window style for the next
yeah.
system. That's why I think that we probably won't see it inside of this
Okay.
direct, and more so probably wait until like the next console reveals like
Yeah,
game
I was
lineup.
thinking too. I wonder like, how likely it is. Like we see like Xbox and PlayStation, been doing a lot of cross generation games, even third party. We
Hmm.
see even the new Call of Duties like going on both consoles still, last generation, this generation. So I do wonder how much
Yeah.
Nintendo will do that because we see it right now. We see it a lot lately, especially Nintendo's even talked about like it's getting the game development's taking them longer. Like they're feeling the effects of like kind of how gaming has become. Like we keep talking about everybody else, like games are taking longer, they're more expensive. And Nintendo's talking about they're feeling that too. Um, and so I do wonder if like man, like especially like some of those like smaller tier games, like maybe they're cross generation. And that's kind of where I'm gonna get messed up with. Like now I'm starting to think of like Nintendo. Like usually Nintendo when a new console comes out, they just like the new console's out and then they just kind of like they like all right, you're dead to us now. Like we just move on to the next thing. Like we got we got a divorce. We're on to the next. We got a new girlfriend now. Um, so
But we can't initially do that with this like
yeah.
generation and then the last, it's like you can't do an easy break. I mean, let's look at Sony and Microsoft for example. They're still supporting their last
Well,
generation
not
consoles
anymore.
and
They
their current ones like
like
what?
last year was like they didn't do it. Like Spider-Man 2 and stuff didn't come on last gen, but like
Well, yes, but still you're having people still develop stuff for the PS4 and Xbox
yeah,
One
I mean, but I
still.
mean, you look at especially that PS4 has like we talk about there's like 120 something million people that have a PS4 out there. So and so I
Mm.
you can see why like they wanted like we don't want to ban that because when you have three times as many people like with last year they had 40 million or 2 years ago we had like 40 million PS5s out there, and you have 120 million PS4s out there. God of War comes out. It's like, well, we want that. Like, hey, we don't want to ban those 120. Like, there's 120 million people that might buy this thing. So I get it. I get why they do it. Like you look like they did the breakdown where I think like still like 48% of people still have like are there have PSN accounts are still playing on PS4. So um, yeah. So I could see Nintendo being that way where like especially like I said those like maybe you put like the Mario Party the new Mario the new like 3D Mario, say that's the launch game, maybe that's Switch 2 exclusive, but then like you have like say Kid Icarus or something like that, like hey that's gonna become the Switch 2, but it's also gonna work. We have a cross gen thing going there, so I can see them doing that. But yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna take the easy path, Gables. I'm gonna say like a 5. I don't think it's likely. Yeah, I'm gonna do
A
like a
5.
5, like right in
Okay.
the middle, because this has been so long rumored, and it actually seems like it's not just like leaks and rumors. It's like we've seen job postings for it. So, um, next up here, Gables, you already mentioned it. Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Do you think it's coming? Like, it sounds like you're pretty sure on that one. And do you think it's a bundle or do you think it's separate?
That's a good
The
question.
rumor was it was supposed
That's
to
a
be a
good
bundle. That
question.
was like 2 years ago. So
I think that it will be a bundle. I'm fairly certain that they probably will show it at this show. There probably is going to be some sort of little miniature tweaks in order to adjust for like modern like Switch controls or whatsoever. But at the same time, they need something Zelda related that for this year, and they're kind of like at a point where they usually release a Zelda thing
yeah,
each year. It feels like. So I'd say a nine
yeah,
out of
yeah.
ten.
I'm probably like a 9 on that one as well. Yeah, like they always like to have. They mentioned they want to have a Zelda every fiscal year. Last or 2 years ago they didn't have one. That's because like I think Tears of the Kingdom was supposed to come out in like March of last year and it ended up getting pushed to May. So like that's the reason why
Yes.
it didn't end up happening. Um, so that I think makes sense. Sounds like these things have been done forever. Uh, I almost see them doing the same thing here, where like kind of like what we saw with like they with Pikmin 1 and 2. They put them out. You excuse me. You can I can't remember what it was. Like you can buy them. I think you can like get them for $30 a piece, and then or it's like 50 or yeah, it was like $30 piece or $50 if you want to buy like a digital bundle thing of them. I can almost see them do the same thing here with the cave. You want them together, get them digitally, and almost like I said, hey, or you can wait a month and buy them together for $60 physically or something like that. So I think personally, honestly,
Right.
I'd rather do that because I have like zero interest in doing Twilight Princess again. But I would gladly play Wind Waker again. So yeah,
Oh yeah, Wind Waker's the
yeah.
better one of
I
the
remember
two.
like playing Twilight Princess. Like I remember like beating it on the Wii, but I think I was just so excited to play a thing on Wii. I really liked it. And then I was like, the more like time went by, I'm like, I didn't really actually like that much. And then trying to play it on the Wii U, like, and it was like the GameCube version. I'm like, oh, thank God, because I'm a left-hander. So playing fucking Twilight Princess on the Wii was a fucking nightmare. But anyways,
Mm.
yeah, I remember playing. I got like 6-7 hours. I'm like, I hate this. So I have like zero interest in replaying fucking Twilight Princess or trying to again. So yeah, Wind Waker though definitely. So I'm hoping like I would love that if they do that bundle. Like you can hey $30 or I'll just cause I'm just gonna buy the fucking Wind Waker. But yeah, I'm a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'm throwing this one out here. I'm just gonna throw it. I was getting a little spicy earlier. If we don't get Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, I have another Zelda game for you. Four Swords.
And what's that?
Mm-hmm.
Four Swords.
Four Swords remake.
Four Swords. So you want me to go and guess whether we're going to see that in the
One
direct,
out of
right?
10. What do you think? 1 through 10.
Okay, so Four Swords, and we're talking about the
Yeah, not
GameCube
the fucking
one.
Game Boy Advance one. Yeah, the GameCube one.
Dude, oh god, I'd be seriously doubtful for that, man. I'd be like a
Okay.
2 out of 10
I'm gonna
on
say
that
like
one.
I'm like a 2 out of 10 on that one, but I'm like a -12. It's gonna have online multiplayer because that would just be because that'd
Oh,
make way too expensive.
that's actually a pretty good point, dude. I mean, that would be an excellent game to showcase online multiplayer or play with other people on. But instead, it's like
It's Nintendo.
Nintendo will be Nintendo, and something that seems so straightforward in terms of like online connectivity, they're just going to relegate it to just couch co-op
Yeah, and you
and
have to
just
use
be done with
Joy-Cons.
it.
But what if it's just the Game Boy Advance one, but it only works with Joy-Cons?
Oh no. Oh no, dude. I mean, oh.
That would be like the way Nintendo was like, "Hey,
No,
remember this
I
thing you
don't think
loved,
we'll
or
see that.
you had Link to the Past on Game Boy Advance, and you had this really cool thing we marketed, but you couldn't actually play it because you didn't have 4 friends that had a Game Boy Advance, also had 4 copies of
Mhm.
Link to the Past, and also had 4 fucking Link cables. Well, cool. You can finally play this, but you can only play with Joy Cons, and you have to have 4 friends with you on the couch.
Dude, I know, right? I mean, I would not want to be playing that type of experience, though. I've played that type of experience, not with 4 players, but just like with one other person, just playing that and solving puzzles. And I'm like, it was a good novelty for like 5 minutes, but at the same time, it's like it would have been a lot better if it had supported back then that wireless Game Boy
Mm-hmm.
Advance adapter that came with Fire Red and Leaf Green. You know, you plug it
Yeah,
into that slot of the SP and stuff. It was wireless connectivity before they had those little sensors or something built inside their friggin'
yeah,
DS and all this other the Wi-Fi stuff as well, you know. But I really do not think we would see that type of Zelda game like just like
yeah.
that
What
at
if
that
instead we get
showcase.
Triforce Heroes?
Direct. Oh
Is
God,
that the worst Zelda game?
I've never seen a
That's
Zelda, dude. I have never seen a Zelda game go from full price all the way down to clearance price so
yeah.
fast, more so than Triforce
I
Heroes on
remember like shitting on that game
D3DS.
before it came out, and my best friend Justin, giant Nintendo fan, was like defending it before it came out. He's like, oh, I think it's gonna be really good. And it was
Hmm.
the one
Yeah.
time where he's like, yeah, that game's not good. I'm like, oh my god, he admitted that's not good. I was stunned. I'm like, I mean, I'm looking at it. It's almost like it's like that. What was that Metro Prime Federation Force or whatever the fuck it was? It's like,
Yes, it was
good
Federation Force.
lord.
It was that squad-based
Yeah,
sort of
it
like
had nothing to do with
shooter or
Metroid.
something. The
And then
Metroid
it came out later
series.
on that like a month before the
Yep.
game came out, they decided to tag the Metroid game name on it, so people would actually buy it. All right, I'm just gonna throw some out here, Gibbs. I'm just I don't have a game in mind, but I'm just the franchise, Kirby. We get a million Kirby games,
Okay,
so
I know, and it's definitely a safe bet we're going to be seeing something Kirby related inside of here. So I'm going to say that's going to
10
be
out
a
of
10
10.
out
All
of
right,
10.
yeah, I think I'm gonna do 9 out of 10 to be safe. But yeah, like
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be like Forgotten Land 2 or something, but I think we always get like it feels like one every 6 months a Kirby game. Like we can't go more than like 3 directs without seeing a fucking Kirby game. and they're usually garbage. There was like, speaking of like online multiplayer, there was that Kirby like the one with like the eat or something like that, and like it's like all based on multiplayer, but it was all couch co-op only. So I think
The
no, not even
fighters.
the fighter. It was
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
one with like I think you were like rolling or something like that. I can't remember. It came out like last year, I believe.
Rolling.
But like it was like $30. And I remember, yeah, people were like, it's a good like party game, but like you can't play online. What the fuck? Um,
Oh yeah. I think I
yeah, I
remember
can't.
what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Anyways, all right, Gables. F-Zero
Hmm.
GX.
This is a difficult for me. This is a difficult one. Oh, I will say this. Because of how well F-Zero 99 has been on the Nintendo Switch's online service, it being one of the more successful success stories on that service, I think it's more inclined we could see an F-Zero game. But I'm not confident in like placing it high. I'm gonna go and put like a
For
4 out
GX.
of 10
All right.
for
What about like an
GX.
F-Zero
Yes.
99 update?
I go a little bit higher, maybe like about a
Okay.
7
All
out
right.
of
Yeah. I
10.
would say, yeah, probably 8 out of 10 for 99 update. I'm like a 3 out of 10 for GX. So, um, yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Gables. I've been hearing a lot of hubbub about it. I don't know if it's rumors or just like people are just talking about it, like prediction wise, like speculating it's gonna be there. A Mario Party game. Like from so people were mentioning that every
Oh
3 years we usually
gosh.
get a new Mario Party game. So we got one in 2018, we got one in 2021. Now would be the time we get another one.
Hmm. The last Mario Party game that we got was Mario Party Superstars, correct?
Yeah, is that the one with like it was like the basically like remakes of the 64 games?
Yeah, yeah, it's basically the 64
Yeah,
games. Yeah, that one was supposed to be pretty much
yeah,
better than
yeah,
the
Super
first
Mario Party.
Mario
That one
Party
fucking.
game.
I bought that one mainly for the Joy Cons.
So I would think that I want to say like a 2 out of 10 on this one as well, dude. I don't think we're gonna see
Okay,
Mario
all right.
Party in
I got
this
like
one.
I'm gonna do like a 6. Do a 6. I don't really. I don't. No, you're right. I'm gonna do the 4. I don't know because like you can like I said like I can make the argument like they have this giant install base. They want to put another one out, but also maybe you want to wait for the new console. I don't know.
They would wait for the new console and do like a gimmick or something with
Yeah,
it. I
with the
mean, let's
magnets.
be real here. Mario Party's primed is a primed example of Nintendo if they're experimenting with like a console or something like that they'll have some sort of gimmick attached to one of it. And Mario Party has done that in the past with the GameCube, with the Wii, obviously, and like even with the Switch. So it's a good probably
Okay.
idea.
Okay. All right, Gables. Any Mario sports game? Mario
Ugh.
Sluggers. What
Ugh.
is there any other Mario like sports game that hasn't been done? Maybe they bring back that shitty 3-on-3 Mario
Okay.
basketball game.
Oh, they would have to get Square
Oh, I
Enix
forgot
involved with
Square
that
made that.
stuff. Three
Yeah,
on three
God, that game was
hoops.
fucking trash.
Okay, so let's see what they've done.
Soccer,
They've done soccer, they've done golf,
tennis.
and let's see, they've done tennis. And obviously the baseball one is the one that people are thinking that could be next. I would actually think it's gonna be a
Okay, all right.
6.
I'm gonna do. I'm like a 3, I guess. I don't think it's likely. Um, I don't know, like because like usually those come out in like the summer, and I feel like if it's any Mario sports game, like baseball is like the only one that really hasn't been done. Um, and you probably want to put that out
Mm-hmm.
like now because of like baseball season's going on. So I feel like almost you would have been better off putting that out
Yeah.
in the springtime, like when the season's like around like MLB show comes out, like maybe like late March, early April. Um, so I'm gonna yeah I'll do a 3. I don't think it's likely. I think there's like if they have any like sports game like on like coming up, they'll just wait for the next console. Um, I don't know if this is still happening,
Okay.
Gables. I know I have Google and I'm like I don't really care enough to look it up. I'm just gonna ask you: are they still doing the Mario and Sonic Olympic games?
They are still doing it, and I think there was supposed to be another one that's supposed to
All
be
right, now I'm
like
gonna Google it.
coming out
I figured
fairly
maybe you would
soon.
know. Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. When's the last one we got? So we did get one for 2020 Tokyo,
Uh
but they
huh.
haven't announced one for 2024.
Yeah, that's really weird though. I thought they would have done
Yeah,
something for
and the
like
Olympics are like
2024,
2 weeks
but
away.
dude, at this point, I'd say like a 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I feel like you would do that. I'm on the wiki now. I'm deep into it here. So they've done in 2020 they did one. Yeah, there was no information
Mm-hmm.
here about 2024. I wonder if like those games are always like pretty shitty anyway. So and I wonder if they just like they don't even mention them when they've never mentioned any of them like when they do like their sales figure. So they probably just I mean if they like
Right.
they mention anything that goes over 1 million units. So you think they would bring it up. Um, all right, Gables. Any NSO game.
Okay, Nintendo Switch Online stuff. Hmm.
Usually when they announce them
Hmm.
at the like directs, either they're announcing like the next 6 months worth of games, or they announce like a game that's related to something else they announce. So I'm thinking if maybe they announce like any like the Metroid Prime stuff. I don't believe Metroid Zero Mission is on NSO. So like if there's gonna be like something that's there that we don't like that could potentially tie into something else they announced. I feel like there's a chance we get like we get like so we get those Metroid Prime remasters or something. Maybe they finally put out hey it's or like hey,
Hmm.
maybe it's not out today but it's coming soon.
I will say though that that would be a good example of a good excuse to bringing out
Yeah,
Zero Mission.
I don't know if I'm not like I'd say 10 out of 10 we see an NSO game of some sort.
Okay, you think 10 out of 10? You think fairly strongly on that, and it's mostly because of the possibility of it being
Well, I
Metroid
would say
Zero
like
Mission, or
all right, I'd say 10 out of 10 we're gonna see it in NSO any game from NSO. Um, if it's Metroid Zero Mission specifically, is it Zero Mission or is it fucking Fusion that we're missing? Fuck, no, Zero
it's
Mission.
Zero
Okay,
Mission?
I'm gonna if it's that one. If I had to place a bet, I think that's the most likely candidate, unless it's some fucking like random, like stupid like game we never heard of. Or what if we get that Tiny Toon Adventure sports game I was wanting? That'd be fantastic. Um, I think it's the most like candidate. I'm gonna say fuck 6. It's Metroid Zero Mission 6. If if it's an NSO game.
Okay. As far as NSO game related, I mean, this is a hard one too for me because I could potentially see it to where we're not getting any type of update because we've had so many different updates of the NSO in like the last couple of months. I mean, we just got not just like a few weeks ago the Mega Man
Yeah.
1 through
Well, I'm
5
not
on the
necessarily
Game
saying like
Boy
so this doesn't mean Shadow
NSO.
Drop, but maybe it's like the July game or something.
The July
Because I
game.
don't.
Well, think about it. July, you have a whole bunch of hot stuff, like just not just hot stuff, but like a lot of like summer themed activities, like barbecuing, this and that. Maybe instead of like say an NS, like say like Metroid Zero Mission, there would be something more inclined to some activities that you would do in the summer, like say sporting stuff
Is
or
there any like
whatever.
Nintendo
Would be
first party games that are sports related that we don't have yet?
um
Like we just got the tennis game. We just got golf.
I know we just got
I
all
don't.
that
Are
stuff.
the do we know what's coming for 64 yet? Are we out of those?
I don't think we know exactly if there's what they're going to be coming back with the 64, but if they would like to like entice people, like say with an NSO game or something like that, I mean, a fighting game would probably in be in the realm of possibility where they could release that. I mean, wouldn't that be kind of funny if Super Smash Brothers actually just randomly got dropped for the 64 like
I yeah.
online,
They
for like
just they
NSO?
didn't even do that on the Wii or the Wii U. So I don't think I just don't think as frustrating as it is. I just don't think they're gonna do it.
That's just the thing though, man. It's like you don't know with
Yeah,
Nintendo.
but I
I
mean we've
mean,
got 15 years of history of them just not doing it. So
true. I know, true. But I was more thinking like a Super Smash Brothers, like the original one for like the 64, only because it's like it definitely would go in the realm of like something being on NSO, and I'm thinking about that possibility. So I'm thinking it's going to be like a 7 out
okay.
of 10.
All right, yeah, I can't find. I was trying to find like the last time, like, because usually they, like 64 stuff, they announce like, hey, here's the next 6 coming in like you get one a month, but I can't find a list. So
I think the last one was it's not 1080 snowboarding, but it was something else.
um,
Excite Bike 64, maybe.
uh,
Without turning the Switch on, I
yeah, I
don't
don't
even know
either.
at this point.
Just looking. Yeah, that fucking. I can't find a good update here. What's on there or not? All right, that's pretty much it for first party stuff. I got like a few things here for, um, like third party. So next up here, I don't remember. There was like a Professor Layton collection that was supposed to be coming. I believe. I don't believe that's
Yes.
out. I what do you
No.
think? Because obviously it's not gonna be all first party here. So
I don't think it has a possibility of showing up here only because I think it's still early on in development. So I'm going to
the
say a 1 out of
the
10.
collector thing, the collection thing.
Oh, I thought
No,
you meant
the
the new
new one's
game.
2025.
Okay, the new one's 2025. You're thinking about
Yeah,
the collection of like
Chris.
the
I could have
3DS
sworn they
games.
announced they're making a collection. Am I losing my mind here? Professor.
Well, let's double check to make sure because I haven't heard anything in regards to
Yeah,
that.
okay. I googled it. It popped up here. Uh, uh World of Steam is 2025.
Hmm.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. I thought, oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah, no, okay. I just see. Oh, maybe I just. There's articles here for people saying like, would you like to see one? Or now is the perfect time from like last
oh
year.
yeah. Would you like to
Yeah, so
see one?
maybe that's where I got them all mixed up in my head. I thought I saw there was like a trilogy coming. All right, well never mind then. Fuck that one. That's off the list, Gables. 0 out of 10. Unless I'm gonna say 1 out of 10. Just be safe. Collection.
For that one, yeah, it's just a 1 out of
All
10
right.
for me.
Next up here, Hi-Fi Rush. It got rated like 2 months ago. So
Hmm. I'd say 8 out
yeah,
of 10.
I'm gonna say 8. Yeah, I'm with you. 8 out of 10. I feel like we're pretty close on a lot of these. Yeah, I'm gonna say 8. I mean, it got rated. They let like the Redfall team like finish up the updates so they could have an offline mode. They let the team finish up for Tango. Tango had their last day on Friday, sadly. So who knows? Like they did like a last update for like Hi-Fi Rush and everything like that for the PlayStation and Xbox for in PC version. So I can see it maybe hey like just finish up the Switch version and stuff. So, and like we've seen like the leaks of like there's like the T-shirts for Chive to wear in the game. So, that was like from like last year, I believe.
Yes.
So we know it's it was in the works. So, and there was a rating for it. So yeah, I'm gonna say yeah. No, I'm gonna bump it up 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 Gables. Um, Next up
Okay.
here, that Dragon Quest HD 2D remake. We don't know if it's like 3 or 1 through 3, but um, I'm gonna say 10 out of 10 on this one.
I don't know, Tyler. I mean, this definitely would be on the realm of being shown in a Nintendo Direct because, well, of possibly like a Switch port coming to that, a Switch port maybe in the inside like the pipelines and stuff, but it doesn't surprise. It doesn't really. I don't really think that we're going to be seeing this at this Nintendo Direct. I really don't. I feel like this is going to be something that we're maybe going to see the gameplay of like somewhere else later on this year, and not
Okay.
directly at this Nintendo Direct. So I'm going to say a
Well,
two
yeah.
out
I
of
mean, it's supposed
ten.
to come out this year, um, and I just this is like the last time like the last place I think we'll see it. So it wasn't anything else. They talked about
Mm-hmm.
just recently. They've been teasing it on Twitter the last couple weeks, so it makes sense to me. It's gonna be here. So
Right.
next up, Gables, Lego Horizon Adventures.
Mm. Well, after it was just showcased and
Something
stuff
interesting.
on Summer's Games Fest, yeah, I think it's going to be on this one as well. I'm going to say
Oh,
10 out
okay.
of
All
10
right.
for this one.
I'm gonna do I'm gonna do 8. I'm gonna do 8. Be a little safe here.
Okay.
Gables, we were
Uh,
we're like almost 50 minutes of this podcast. We haven't mentioned the game once, and I'm proud of us for not mentioning. We just didn't immediately jump into it, but it's not. We gotta talk about it. We gotta mention it. Silk Song.
oh, the never-ending jokes surrounding this game. Every time that any type of like an event or a direct or a showcase happens, people are wondering Will we see Silk Song? The last time that we saw Silk Song was at a Microsoft
2 years ago,
showcase, like 2 years ago, where they confirmed it's coming to Game
within 12
Pass on
months.
day one. Well, they said within 12 months, but that
Yeah.
definitely did not
Nope.
happen. The first time that we saw this game, it debuted in a 2017 Nintendo Direct.
2019. Yeah.
The 2019. Thank you.
Yeah.
2019 Nintendo Direct. I think I was thinking about the
Yeah.
release of the
Yeah.
first game. God
Yeah.
dang it.
2019 Valentine's Day.
Um, Holy crap. You know what? I am going to say that we will not see Silk Song at this Nintendo Direct, and I'm going to say it's going to be a
I'll
1
take
out of
Gables.
10.
I'm feeling a little spicy right now. I'm gonna say 10 out of 10, and it's the one more thing.
Well, you know what? If you're right, it's going to be one of the most incredible moments of the
Yeah.
year. Because I think people are going to absolutely fucking freak out if that
Remember
drops.
that episode of like Pokemon that only aired in Japan, where like they did the weird flashing lights, and then like 8 kids went to the hospital because of like the flashing lights.
Electric Soldier
Yeah.
Porygon. Yeah, that
How many
episode. Yeah,
people? How
I
many
remember
fucking
that.
nerds? Do you think more or less nerds will go to the hospital if it's here and it gets release date?
Hmm. I don't want to guess, but I will say that there probably will be a special few that may have a health incident if this thing
All right,
gets
3.5
announced.
more or less go to the hospital because of Silk Song.
I want to say like
So
about two.
I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say 11. I'm gonna say 11 go to the hospital. How many
I know.
people? Okay,
That's the thing though. I don't like joking about stuff like this, but at the same time, it
I didn't
would
say
not put it
die.
past me in the
I just meant
least
like
if I didn't say wait, whoa. That's
Jesus.
way
Yeah,
more, dude. I
like why are
didn't
you
say
wishing
anyone would
death
die.
upon
I'm
these
just
people
saying
just because they're excited about a
like
video
a
game? Well,
health
that's fucked up, man.
incident.
That's fucked up.
Oh my gosh. I will say though, it's like they will probably have some sort of health
I,
incident or something like that if this
yeah,
were to come
I say 11 go to the hospital and 4 have an aneurysm, and then maybe like 5 have like colon issues because they shit themselves. So that's kind of where I'm at. Maybe like 2 die later because when they finally start playing the game, they're like recovering from the hospital trip. All right, and last but not least here, Gables, maybe the most important thing here: how many farming games will be here?
Oh God, farming
1.5
games.
over more or less farming games.
Oh God, I think it's less
Oh,
than
I'm going over.
1.5, dude. I mean, we've already seen things like say Rune Factory and Atelier
Harvestella.
shit and stuff like that from this year, and I'm like Harvestella and stuff. I don't
Was
think
that
we're
is
gonna
that
see any
Harvest?
farming
Is
related
that
games in this direct.
Harvest Moon GameCube remake out yet?
I don't know.
What do they
I
call
don't
that
think so.
franchise now? Wonderful Life or something like that? I can't remember. Um,
Well, because different people took over that used to work from the Harvest Moon franchise, and they go into like the direction of it's like a Wonderful Life or something, and then like there's different developers that hand with the actual Harvest Moon property that it's supposed to be like worse than what the original like creators did and stuff. It's just some
yeah,
sort of random like it's just some sort of crazy like crap that's
I just
happened
can't.
behind the scenes with these
Yeah, I'm just
games.
trying to
But
remember if that
yeah,
GameCube one came out or not. But I remember playing that one. I had that one. I had to play 40 in-game days to get my cow to have a calf. So I remember that.
what's hilarious about that, dude, is like I remember that game being done in my workplace once, and I think the cashier bought it, and I think it's because I actually did a drawing when some games in my workplace get dropped off and I'm feeling kind of like creative in that day. I just go and I just draw the artwork on the
Mm,
initial thing. And so I draw the cow from Harvest Moon on the box cover. And I think it's hilarious because I almost did a one for
jeez,
one.
that's funny. That's funny. Gables was that cashier. Um, all right. Well, Gables,
No.
I think that's kind of it for like I said. There's not a lot of news this week. So hopefully we get that direct here. Because I'm looking forward to it. But anyways, let's jump into what we're playing. Gables, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Okay. I'll go
Okay.
first this time only because I wanted to just cover a little bit of my Pokemon Red stuff, but I'll probably talk a little bit more of Destiny 2 here. Let's see. For Pokemon Red, the Charmander run has been going smoothly up until it's probably like up until like about last night here. So for the duration of my run, it's been like over 9 hours now in this run. I've gotten every single badge. I'm at the Elite Four. I've gone through every NPC, like any enemy trainer, like NPC trainer inside of this game. And I am at level 76 with Charmander. I've collected about 10 rare candies. I think the max you can find in the game is 12. I still have my move set being Flamethrower, Dig, Slash, and Fire Blast. However, my first attempt at the Elite Four, I nearly got to like the final battle. I nearly got to the final battle. I lucked out my first time playing, like facing up against Lorelei with her Lapras. She missed twice with Hydro Pump, which in and of itself is really hilarious because Hydro Pump is like, I think in Generation 1's like a 90% hit move, and she managed to roll two misses in a row. But I was able to get all the way up to Lance, and as soon as I was facing off against Gyarados hit my freaking Charmander with a Hydro Pump. It was a critical hit, and it took out Charmander, and that was the end of try number one. I've done like 4 other tries so far. The last one was right before recording. I decided to do something a little bit different to spice things up. I deleted Flamethrower in order to do Swords Dance. I deleted Slash in order to try Double Edge. Swords Dance, it allows you to raise your attack by 3 stages each time you use it. So it's like, oh, no, not 3 stages, 2 stages upon using it. My mistake. Because if you use 3 of those in a row, you get to max out the attack as well as activating a badge boost glitch and stuff, which helps raise all the other stats of your Pokemon because of a glitch. But the strategy was combine Sword Stance with Dig or Double Edge. And the thing about Double Edge, even though it has 120 attack power, it does damage to you. It's pretty much self-inflict damage to yourself. But yeah, the funniest part about that, I was able to defeat Lorelei using this tactic. Against Bruno, I clicked the wrong move and I ended up like losing to Bruno of all the freaking Elite Four trainers because his Hitmonchan hits me with an Ice Punch and freezes my Charmander. Here's the thing about freeze in Generation 1. Unless you're hit with a fire type move by your opponent, it's going to stay frozen. So there's no chance of Charmander thawing out, so I had to reset. So at this point, I've tried about 5 or 6 times beating the Elite Four and Champion. I have not completed it yet. However, I may try to level up Charmander randomly before going in for my next try. Like I said, he's at level 76. I've been using my rare candies to go into these battles, and I'm still having some bits of issues here and there. I would like to consistently say that I have been able to go through, like, say, Agatha and stuff. I was going through Bruno pretty nicely, but oh, that random luck chance with Hitmonchan hitting an ice punch and freezing my Pokemon, yeah, that was a real pain in the ass. But even with Charmander being at level 86 when I tried my last attempt, I still feel like I could do something else differently. I could end up going back to Saffron City to get the TM Mimic to not only use in place of, like, say, either like Flamethrower or something like that, but mimicking a Pokemon's move in Generation 1 can be pretty useful, especially if you say, for example, the first trainer Lorelei. She has a Slowbro that knows 2 attacks, and that's Water Gun and Amnesia. Amnesia increases special, so I could just go that route or something else. But yeah, it's been actually a pretty nice run up until this point. Now I'm just kind of thinking of, am I going to have to go past level 90 in order to beat this game? Because I'll tell you what, man, it's like I feel like I'm just very close in beating this game. Absolutely. There's just 1 or 2 probabilities that keep popping up that prevent me from doing so. But yeah, I'm not giving up. I want to finish up this run because this is a pretty damn fun challenge. With Destiny 2, I've played more of the final shape. I can officially say I'm close, if not at the halfway point of this expansion. I have loved what I've played so far. I'm saying this because I feel like I can easily follow along with the story. So everything else starts when you manage to get into the Traveler. The Traveler has been infested by the Witness, its presence, its manipulations, its stuff like that. And as you're inside the Traveler exploring like the bit of the terrain around the world inside of this thing, you see a lot of the Witness's influence, this main bad guy and stuff, that's like a culmination of like 10 years of like storytelling from Destiny 2. You see all these random like disturbing images. Tyler, let me put this for example. I'm going through like familiar places inside of what used to be like the EDZ and what used to be like different set points, and all of it's like there's these various little twists of what the perception of them are. Like some of the courses will be turned entirely upside down, and you're just doing this random sort of like mixed up like areas that you've been to before. And then randomly you're crawling through a vent and you go to another spot and there's just faces. There's just faces popping out of these thing and just staring at you and stuff as you're going through. Or inside of one of the missions where I have to go and find one of the commanders, like Zavala, the dude that's yeah, just Zavala and stuff, going along doing his missions, I come up to this house that he's in, right? And the chimney is blowing smoke, and all that smoke is starting to shape into these faces, these distorted like faces, and the imagery of it all is very freaky, and I love it because it sets the mood perfectly of the atmosphere of this game, of this expansion, the tone of it perfectly to where a lot of the Witness's influence inside here has been compelling the people that have been going into like the Traveler and stuff that try to prevent things, trying to manipulate them in order to like with false promises of, hey, here's some temptation, I will give you what you want, I will do this and do that and stuff like that in order for you to be on my side and do this and that. But at the same time, it's like all I'm seeing all of these NPC characters, these story characters that I've been following along for years and stuff. It's like, just the inner turmoil sort of stuff. Like, do I go with what I feel is right, or do I just go and just succumb and just do the easy route, which would be, just doing this and that. And a lot of it is fairly interesting from a storyline perspective. In terms of gameplay perspective, it's really fun. What I've loved the most is experimenting with different types of elements of the character classes, combining together with the prismatic stuff. I think I'm finally at the point where I'm starting to intermix a lot of different things. Like, say, I'm using bits of strand, like melee ability, with like a stasis, like grenade ability, and like just doing these random combos to where I'm using these freaking like stasis grenades, freezing the enemies, and all of a sudden I'm just doing this melee slash of strand, or sometimes do these freaking like sickles and stuff like that. One of the most excellent moments I've had a chance to experience is once you get the void power up thing for the prismatic class. Oh my god, dude. This was fun because we're in this epic clash where this just these hundreds of enemies are coming right at us and stuff like that, my friend and I. As soon as I get this special, I'm popping up in the air. I'm throwing axes, these power axes, at all of these freaking enemies, right? And I'm just slaying like a field of these damn things. And not only that, because I'm throwing these axes, they're sticking onto the ground. And so my friend is able to pick up these same axes and use them as melee attacks. And I can do the same thing too. And on top of that, not only am I doing that though, but like I kept on doing that because they allowed you to get almost like an infinite amount of specials during this one section. But just the creativity of how Bungie is doing with these type of specials is really cool. Like you can have allies just being like powered up by your special attacks or providing with extra weapons or extra things like that. And then it just turns to all out chaos to where my friend and I are just chopping down legions of enemies with my power axes and just doing this stuff. So there have been extremely high highs with this. I have not experienced any type of major lows with this thing yet. That's really much the opposite of what I experienced with Lightfall, because Lightfall, I felt the writing and the storytelling was terrible. I felt that Nimbus, one of their new NPCs inside of this whole expansion, was kind of boring and kind of like a stereotypical sort of like dumb in terms of being like a hero and this and that. And some of the plot points didn't really make sense. Plus the gameplay, even though some bits of it was okay, it just really felt a lot to be desired. Plus it felt like a filler before
Filler
the
arc.
main course, like an appetizer. And that's what I hated the most about Lightfall. But with the final shape, this feels like a fleshed out product. This is quite literally what happens when Bungie is backed up against the wall and they have no choice but to put all their ideas and all their random stuff that they've been holding back into full play. Because a lot of what people have asked for, the players have asked for years, they're finally implementing. They've eliminated certain currencies and stuff in order to upgrade certain aspects of their armor better. You can level up quicker. You can do all these different type of attacks by combining different classes together. It feels like almost an entirely different type of experience than what Destiny 2 was. And that's what makes it the most exciting, because it's not the same boring type of thing. You choose one class, you do this, you have these set amount of like fetch missions, or you have to do this and that. It feels more like I have element of controlling how my character is going to play and what exactly I feel like I want to do from a story perspective that isn't just something incredibly boring. But even though I'm like halfway through this and stuff, I still want to feel like I've been doing more, and the only reason why I haven't done more yet is because I'm so
Yeah.
tired after work days. But dude, I implore you, it's like if you guys are like lapsed Destiny 2 fans and stuff like that, and if you don't like a lot of like a lot of what Bungie has done, say with Destiny 2 in the past, I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, I feel like the final shape is worth it just to delve into. Hell, you pay the $50 or something like that, you get a good expansion, and you have all this other excessive stuff to where you can finally just play the way you've been wanting to play for a long while, something
Yeah.
fresh in this series. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've
All
been
right.
playing.
So I've only been played a couple games this week. I did beat up. I did finish. I did beat, I guess. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Finish that up. I
Good.
think Tuesday or Wednesday I did that. It took me like 28ish hours, I want to say. I didn't really do
Hmm.
a lot of side stuff. Like there really isn't a ton of side stuff to do. Like I did find like all the shine sprites, which is pretty easy actually to do. But did all that. Finished the game up. I really liked it. Like I said, I was talking a couple weeks ago. Like it definitely like it kind of gives me that nostalgia. I feel like when I go back and like or when I play like a really good Pokemon game nowadays, where it's like I play those games strictly really for the nostalgia more than anything else, and that's kind of like what I got out of this. Like
Yeah.
reminds me of like I mentioned like me like when I was like I think this game came out when I was like 14 or 15, and just like sitting like I'd sit on the floor, lean with my back up against my bed, and I have like a fucking like 19-inch like CRTV and playing it on there, and I beating it way back when. So it was really cool. And like I remember telling you like there was like whole chunks of the game I just couldn't remember at all, and I'm like maybe did I beat this
Hmm.
game because I don't remember any of this chapter. And then I get to the next chapter. I got like to like a boss, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this boss fight. Okay, no, I did play it, and then I got to the end. I'm like, I remember all of this. I was very like there's like just two chapters entirely. I'm like, I don't remember any of this shit, or I remember like one specific thing about it. But I ended up like really liking it. Obviously it's like I talk about like Super Mario RPG where it's like I have no I've never played the game, I have no nostalgia for it, and I played like 5-6 hours of it. And
Right.
I was like I don't like I was kind of bored. I just moved. I didn't really like it, and I was like kept talking about like I'm just really concerned. Thousand Year Doors might just be a nostalgia factor for me, and I might not like it. And I didn't really like it. And there's definitely parts of like they did some things that kind of improve like quality of life in that game. There were certain parts of that game where I'm like I was getting really frustrated where like there like in every chapter there is like a 20-30 minute span where they literally just make you walk from one point to back and forth to keep like and they just like oh we lost this thing, okay it's over here, so you had like you walk all the way over there and you grab it and you come back, oh well actually we need you this thing too. I was like all right, so you have to go all the way back to that point, and every chapter has a point like that where it's like like why am I doing that? Like I was kind of getting frustrated. Like it's not a long walk, but there's like fights in between there, and like I'm trying to like my best to avoid the fights because like I was telling like we were talking about off air like a week or two ago where it's like the more you fight a person in an area, then you get to the point where you only get like 1 star for like 1 star, which 100 stars to level
Yep.
up, and like you might get 13 or 14 the first time you feed them, and then like after like the third or fourth time you fight them, you just get 1 every time. But the fight doesn't get easier. You're not using less resources or anything like that. So I was getting really frustrated. Like, if it was just walking back and forth, that'd be kind of annoying, but it's like, whatever. But then it's like, trying to avoid these fights and all that shit. It got very frustrating. Like I said, every chapter, there was like one point in the game where I'm like, why the fuck is, like, I was getting really mad. Actually, I was like, this is fucking dumb. Why is this the thing? Um, but like, I would definitely say like the last chapter, I was kind of like just ready to move on. Like, kind of just went on. It's like it was a very long. It was like the going for the last the last spot like the last fight. It was like why this? I don't know. It was just like a lot of like harder enemies, which wasn't like the game's not incredibly hard. It's just like it's more like it was more difficult. Like like you're fighting so many people, like running low on resources and stuff like because you only carry 15 items. You got to balance between like adding, increasing your health or your FP or like having items that do damage people. So it's like very quickly can run out of items, and like I was getting kind of frustrated with that. And I'm like, I'm just ready to I'm not fighting new enemies. It's just more of the same. They're just adding more enemies to this thing. So it's not like necessarily adding a different type of challenge. It's just adding more people to make it more challenging. So I say like the last like couple hours, I was like, all right, I just wasn't liking it. I kind of got burnt. I kind of just got worn out at that point of it. But I ended up still loving it. The last boss fights are really really cool. Like where all like the story is fantastic. And really, the game, the best parts is just the story, everything in between. Like I like, and the combat isn't like
Yes.
it's not fantastic. It's not like gonna change your life in any way, but like, it's good enough to like get you through the game for what it is. But like yeah, like the game is all built upon not even necessarily I guess the story, but just the characters in the world. And it's just like, and that's like what makes it great. It's like the story is like just run of mill like what you expect from a Mario story, but like it's just all the great. There's so many great characters in this game. And it's like no, you don't see, especially back then, you didn't see that from like a Nintendo game. And I don't know if like yeah, we definitely haven't seen that from a Mario game since. Um, Maybe since like Odyssey is
Mm.
like the craziest we got with like certain stuff, like with like what they're willing to do with like Mario and its universe. Um, but yeah, like
Right.
I was blown away by this. I'm really really happy with it. It's I was like I blown away by like the just like the stuff they do with the paper. Like on the even though like the Switch is yeah we're in year 8, but I was just blown away by like how good it looked. And I was telling you like I went and actually like looked up an old video to like see what it looked like on the GameCube. Like I was like watching the part I was playing through currently, and I was like, oh yeah, this is like way different. Like I was like, how different is it? I'm like, oh my god, it's like night and day. It's fantastic. But yeah, overall, like I know I spent probably a good chunk of that complaining, and it's like nitpick things, like but I would say like I definitely really really like that game in the end. It's like, I don't know like maybe how you feel about it
Yes.
playing it now if you don't have nostalgia for it, but like if you're someone that played the game back then and you love it, I think it's gonna hold up really well for you. Um, Next up,
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna spend too much. This is an old game, but I mentioned top of the show. Uh, I got really excited after watching the Dragon Age Veilguard, yeah, Veilguard. I was trying to remember what the new title was. I was like, fuck, that looks really great. And I talked about a long time ago, like I mentioned, like I put like 37 4, I can't remember. It was like almost like 40 hours of the game. Like bought it at launch, played it. I think it was like number 10 on my list that year for like a game of the year.
Mm.
And it was like because I was still playing that game. Um, at that point we did our game of the year list that year, and I was like, I just kind of like I said, I hit the wall, and I was like, I don't know, like I'm like I said, I'm like 13, 14 hours into it, but I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, there's a lot of jankness to it. There's a lot of pop-ins. There's a lot of bugs, like not bugs, but like just weird, like sometimes things don't trigger, or like weird quirky animations, stuff like that. Like definitely like when it's like definitely reminds me of like that era of like Bioware games where it's like I mentioned like some of those like it's very stiff. Like if you like go back and you like watch those old Mass Effect like before they did like the Legendary Collection, like just the way people move, like pop-in's really bad. The frame rate can kind of crap sometimes. The loading is awful, which sucks. I'm
Mm-hmm.
playing on a Series X, so I thought maybe like, oh, the loading will be fine. No, it's still really bad. So it's like the loading, you're like going between worlds is really bad. But I'm like definitely loving the characters. It definitely kind of sucks though, because like back then because I think we got like the first two came out, and like I think those first 3 games came out in like a 5-year period or so together. Like it's been nearly a decade now since Inquisition came out, and like I played all the DLC. I did all the side quests and like Dragon Age Origins. I did all the DLC, and I fought my way through that garbage Dragon Age 2. Like the story was fine. The gameplay was actually better, but like there was just so many like that game was rushed and not done, and like it was like I think it was the first game under EA that they fully developed under EA, and it just didn't come out very well. But anyways, yeah, it's been really great. And like I said, like I'm getting past like all like how bad it looks. Like I think it's like Unreal Engine 3 too on top of that, but having a great time with it, really enjoying it. I'm like, man, like maybe I should have played Baldur's Gate 3 because I was like, I don't like CRPGs, and I like started playing this, and I'm like, no, maybe I think I actually kind of like CRPGs. Maybe I should have played that. I might have actually loved Baldur's Gate 3. Now it's too late. But especially, well, right now it's too late. But there's too many games coming out, or too many games that are out for me to play, and I'm going back and playing the old game. I also watched a little bit of the Life is Strange. They did like a double exposure like stream for this. I watched part
Yeah.
of it, and then they did like a 20-minute like the first 20 minutes of the game. I turned it off at that point. Like I don't want to see it. But they had the Life is Strange remaster on sale for was it like I think it was $10 or $15, and I was like, all right, because I was like I'm gonna replay them now because I own the original versions, but it's been 9 years since I played them I played them when they first launched, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw it for like $10 or $50. They did like the remaster last year. I'm like, well, I'll just do that thing because it's like in the brand new engine and all that. So, yeah, might that might be the next thing I play. But yeah, I don't know how much longer it's gonna. I'm not gonna do what I did with Dragon Age Inquisition the first time where I'm doing everything because that's I know me. I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna get burnt out, and then I'm gonna spend the last 20 hours of the game hating it because I wasted like 70 hours of that game, and I was like, I want to move on. So I'm just like I'm doing some side stuff. Like I'm doing the bigger side stuff, but then there's like, hey, go kill 10 rams. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that shit. So like it's yeah. Anyways, but really happy with all that. So I'm gonna continue playing that. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week, Gables. If you liked all this, really appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up, tell your friends. Check us out on all podcast services. Even if you're watching us on YouTube, just subscribe to us on there just to help us out a little bit. Maybe just download the podcast anyways. Leave a 5-star thumbs up. Whatever you can do to help us out. Share with your friends. Put it on the socials, or just send a text to your friend. I don't know, whatever. Maybe like put us on a billboard if you want to. I don't care. Really would appreciate if you do all for us. We're on Twitter, Facebook. There are links down below with everything we're on. So check it out, please. But I was your host. I was Tyler.
I am Colonel Gables. So until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the Drunk Nerds
Hey, Gables.
podcast.
Too sweet.
Yeah,
Bye,
too
guys.
sweet, man. See ya.